Happy Saturday to you all. We have different streams running at the same time. We have video and audio. So feel free to join the stage or type your questions or engage whichever way you feel comfortable. Okay. So today's conversation, we're going to go a little bit deeper. It's building on previous sessions that I've held. And today I'll be covering this challenge I have for you to activate your spiritual awakening for wealth creation. So I'm going to explain what I mean by that. Okay. So welcome. I see okay Metsit and Inkofab on Clubhouse. And if you're joining on YouTube or LinkedIn or Facebook, feel free to drop a comment. Let us know where you're joining from as well. So the first question that I have for you is, who is running the show? What version of you, what side of you is running this show, this life, right? What version of you is making all the decisions? Okay? Which one is leading, right? Which one is leading you? That's the first question I have for you. And you might wonder, Toyin, what do you mean? Like, what do you mean? Like, which version? It's me, right? But here's the key: there's always at least two sides of you. One side, the one that is afraid, the one that is anxious, the one that is scared, the one that doubts, the one that procrastinates, the one that is lazy, that doesn't want to do all the work. Right? That version has a voice and it's very, very loud. Oh, I can do this. Oh, you can do that. Oh, because of this. Oh, because of that. It has excuses. That version, that voice. Now, there's another version that believes, that hopes, that desires for something bigger, something more. That also has a voice, but the question is, which voice is louder? Okay? Which voice is louder and who is running the show? Which version? Which one? Whenever you wake up for 24 hours, which one is louder? Which one are you responding to? The one that tells you, right? That's where self-sabotage comes in. There's a version of you. If you don't fight it, it will sabotage the other side of you. The one that has hopes, dreams, aspiration, the one that believes, the one that has vision, the ones that sees your greatest potential. That has a voice and it speaks to us, right? It speaks, it whispers the sense of possibility. It talks about your potential. It tells you could do this, you could do that, you could start a business, you could do this. It drops ideas. That version of you has incredible ideas, right? That side of you is the one connected to your spiritual force. Okay? The God side of this, right? The version of you, the part of God that exists in you, that is creative, that is productive, right? That cares, that serves, that hopes, that believes, that gives, that is generous, that is loving, that is kind. It speaks. But trust me, there's also the other side, the wicked, the wicked stepmom. You know this. What's the name of this children's story? Beauty. Is it Beauty? The one with the sleepers, the wicked stepmother. Excuse me, I just noted. This is getting comedic, but it's real. It's real. Which one are you listening to? The one that hopes for you to make the right choices, that tells you about the possible future for you, that tells you you are great, right? That talks about wealth, on and on and on. Or the voice that keeps screaming at you, okay, of everything you cannot do, everything you do not have, why you don't have it, why you shouldn't pursue it, right? The one that gives you all the excuses and lays it at your feet. And now you have to choose. every waking moment, you have to make a decision to say, what voice do you respond to and do you take action on? Now, here's the key. Spiritual awakening happens when you decide to go to the side of your spirit that has ideas, that believes, and for you to have faith, okay, and activate the faith of believing that everything that you have seen and heard on that dimension, that you want it, you believe in it, and you're willing to work for it and take risks for it and move in life in that direction, right? And that's where the responsibility comes. Which side are you going to feed and empower? Okay, as long as you keep empowering and regurgitating and reciting this side of, I don't have this, I don't, it's a record player. You're hearing it over and over, and the more you hear it, the more you believe it. The more you hear it, the more you believe it. Suddenly it has manifested all it wants for you. When you start feeding the faith side of you, once you decide to start feeding the faith version of you, the faith side of you, when you awaken to that side of you, the one that believes, the one that hopes for a better tomorrow, the one that knows where your wealth is, your ideas, and tells you to invest in it, to take risks in it, right? To invest in the seed of your future, to build your future. The moment you cross over to prioritizing that voice primarily, you will start seeing the advancement. It's a different life. And when we don't awaken to that side of us, people live limited because the other side will tell you all your limitations, right? It will tell you of everything you cannot do and why you cannot do it. And when you listen to it, right, people become weaker, right? They lose hope, they become discouraged, and soon enough, they cannot take any action because they're confused. So that's just something I'm going to put out there today. This concept of awakening, okay, to the spiritual side of you. That is the side that has all the ideas, the spiritual gifts that you have to invest in. And there really is no wealth. There's no external wealth without you cultivating your inner wealth. So the real wealth that matters, okay, the one that actually unlocks and creates external wealth, is internal. Your thoughts, your opinions, your ideas, the ideas within you that you nurture, you believe in, and you start creating and manifesting. That is the one that creates external wealth for you. Every business is built on an idea, and ideas are spiritual gifts. So what I found is that as long as people are operating out of that limitation, the voice of, you know, you can't have, the one that is afraid that what you don't want to happen will happen to you and there's no way you will stop it, right? You don't want to fail, you don't want to do this, all those voices, oh, don't do this, don't do that, procrastinate, not today. That is leading for many people. You see, that side is leading for many people. And that version is very programmed by system. It's weak, it's tired, it's the one that doesn't have time, it's the one that cannot prioritize, it's the one that doesn't manage time, it's the one that wastes all your time, wastes all your money, wastes everything, that doesn't manage relationship. That's the one sabotaging what the other side of you wants. So now the question is, who is running the show? And if the version of you running the show is the one that tells you you cannot do this, this is the time, in a way, I always say rescue. You have to rescue your hopes, dreams, and aspirations out of the hands of that version of you. And you have to give it and hand it over to your spiritual self. And then you have to start nurturing, right? You have to start investing. You have to mature. You have to give life. You have to give more attention to the voice that talks to you softly about all the incredible things God has for us. right? Spiritual awakening. When you wake up, now you have to feed yourself. You have to feed it. If you've been feeding the monster, if you've been feeding the one that has no good plans for you. Have you noticed? Do you know that? There's a version that would waste all the time doing things that does not support your dreams. It's hungry. Both sides are hungry. Which one are you feeding? Listen, that side is hungry for material things. It's hungry for pleasure. It wants to be entertained. It wants to do nothing. That's why I say it's the lazy side. It wants to be left alone. That side gets upset. That side is fearful. That side is angry. That side throws tantrums. A bunch of it. All the time. You want to take one step, it will tell you, no, not today. It will sabotage. You want to invest, it will tell you it's too expensive. But that voice will not tell you a $5,000 Chanel handbag is too expensive. But when it's time for coaching, it will tell you coaching is too expensive. Yes. It doesn't help you make the right decision. It's not in your favor. It's not in, the Bible talks about there's a way that seems right to a man, but the end is destruction. Yes, the man, what man in you is leading? Walk in the spirit, don't gratify the desires of the flesh. The flesh has a ton of stuff. You want to spend money on your future, you want to start a business, you tell you, no, not today. Today, let's use that money to do this. Tomorrow will come. So you forget. It tells you to forget your dreams. It tells you to forget your future. It tells you not to invest in it. It tells you you have more time than you. It lies. It lies to you. And if you believe it, you waste time. Soon enough, 5 years later, all the dreams, ideas God gave you, nothing has manifested. Because for 5 years, this side has been running the show. It gives you excuses. God will say, go here, I've prepared somebody to help you. This version will say, no. Who do they think they are? I know what they know. That side is proud. It doesn't listen. It doesn't learn. It doesn't humble itself to listen. God can send a 5-year-old to teach you a lesson, but that side will say, I'm not going to listen. Which side are you feeding? The side of pride, the side of humility, right? The side of resourcefulness, or the side that wastes, the side that manages time and believes that you must really maximize seasons and time and sow the seed when it's time to sow the seed and not waste harvest season, or decides that parties and say, you know what, we have all the time, don't worry about tomorrow. Like, listen, let's squander the prodigal son, waste everything. What side of you are you feeding and are you listening to? Which one is running the show? Because this is the beginning of another year, right? The side that will tell you keep scrolling on social media, look for free, never invest in your future. The side that will make you waste thousands of hours, 2 years later, no progress. The side that gets entertained, that leads you to pursue things that will not contribute to your life. Or the side that is careful, deliberate, intentional, resourceful, that will ask the right questions, that is wise. Are we listening to the side of us where wisdom exists? That's the spiritual side of us. The God, whoever lacks wisdom, let him ask of God. But this side, foolishness lives in this side. Trust me. You know what I'm saying. You know. If you want to hear the truth, you already know what I'm saying. So let me bring it home. Happy New Year. Yes, Kenneth, Happy New Year. Let me bring it home. And if you want to engage on or just ask any question, feel free, drop a comment or reach out on the stage as well. And I see Christine also joined. And there's also someone there. Gospel was busy. Yeah, welcome. And I see Kenneth as well. And those who watch the replay, feel free to always drop your comments. I try to come back to respond to those as well. So yes, when it comes to spiritual awakening, you have to understand that the most wealthiest side of you is the spiritual side of you. And this again is building on previous lessons and classes and things I teach in my school, because it's about wealth creation and really striving to achieve more success. And what I have found is that when people attempt entrepreneurship, business development purely as a physical activity, you will struggle more than you ought to. Pretty much that's what it's going to mean. Because at the end of the day, creativity is spirituality. Because you are trying to create, right, based on an idea you received from the spiritual realm, right? You're trying to surrender yourself, your time, energy, and resources has to be subject of that idea. You have to serve the idea. You have to make room for it. You have to listen to your soul. You have to actually quiet yourself. You have to carve out time to quiet yourself. You have to learn how to listen more to yourself than listen to the world. This is one of the things people don't understand. The spiritual practice of listening more to yourself. That's those who build wealth. It's an idea, it's a thought that they nourished, they processed, they chewed on, they took notes, they prioritized, they invested in. Boom, they created businesses, they created wealth for themselves. And so when people are rushed, they're everywhere. They have no spiritual discipline, no spiritual practices. They do not journal, they do not listen, they do not practice any form of quietness. They're reading everything. They know everything happening in the world except what's happening within them. They are managing everybody else, but they are not managing themselves. They are listening to everybody else, but they are not listening to their own soul. People get lost on that journey. Get lost, because the GPS of your life is inside you, it's not outside of you. What people like myself, what we can do is, once you decide where you want to go, we can offer you a roadmap, guidance to go where you are going. But if you don't know where you are going, I always say discover yourself. Self-discovery is the first journey you need to go on before you start pursuing things that, and you will see people would invest 6 months, a year, pursuing random things, and they will turn up with nothing. Wild goose chase, wasted time, energy, and resources, simply because everybody's going here. You too went there. Oh, dance on reels. Oh, do this. You are listening to the waves of the sea. They toss you everywhere. Suddenly, you arrive at a place you didn't intend. But what will never lead you astray is that voice, that wise side of you that is connected to the God, right? To God, right? That is his voice in you, what he has to say to you, what gift he has for you, the future he has designed specifically for you, the special promises he has for you. No man can give it to you. No man can tell you who you ought to be. You see a seed, the life of a seed, the future of a seed is inside the seed. If I hold an apple seed, no matter what I say, oh, become an orange, oh, become a pear, oh, it's not going to listen to me. You are supposed not to be listening to the world if you know what's inside you. But guess what? When people don't know, they abandon the greater side of them and they will start going towards the weak side. If I hold an apple seed, no matter what I speak to, it's not going to become an orange. It's not. The moment you plant it, water, what's inside it will bloom. Right? Once you start nourishing yourself, once you start educating yourself, once you start enlightening yourself, once you start doing that inner work, you will bloom. What is in you will grow. You will become abundant of what you carry. But if you starve that side of you, you don't give it life, you don't give it time, you don't let it breathe, you don't let it grow, you don't let it speak to you, you don't listen to it, you abandon it, you quiet it, you numb yourself, nothing happens. Nothing great happens when you don't listen to your own soul. Instead, you go to the programming. Oh, my people said this. Black people don't do that. Oh, because you are female, there's a glass ceiling. That's why you start hearing all this stuff people have said, and you are picking up stories that do not belong to your future. Oh, black people can't do this. In America, this is this. They don't give this opportunity. That's where you start hearing all this crazy stuff. Where did it come from? Not from God. Did God make a mistake? No. In fact, who I am is the ultimate advantage. There's no guys, God did not make a mistake. But how dare you saying the labels of man will stop God's work? No, it doesn't happen that way. I was going to tell you my Yoruba Iro. If you know what Iro, it's a lie. It's a lie. It's a programming. It's a programming. People have biases. Good luck with that. That means you don't care. You're not relevant in this assignment. Listen, your bias is not relevant. If you don't help, if you're not contributing to this mission, then you're irrelevant to me. Period. Listen, people who are not relevant, don't make them relevant. People whose thoughts and opinion is not relevant in this matter, don't make them more important than they ought to be in your life, in your future. When you are sitting 18, 19, rocking the chair, you won't even remember the names of these people you are quoting. They don't know you. They don't care about you. They have their own life, their own intentions, their own plans. Yet you are picking their words. The one person whose voice matters, you are not listening to your God. You don't listen to him. Yet you say, this person told me this. Oh, don't apply for this job. Don't apply for this contract. Don't do this. All this radical, like, it's just insanity. You believe man, but more than you believe God. Well, man will take you there. How far they can take you, you get there. Eventually, you turn around and you realize all they were promising you was zero. So I hope you wake up. You wake up to you. You wake up to you. You wake up to God's promises. You wake up to God's purpose. You wake up to everything He has been telling you. And I know as you are hearing me, as you are hearing me right now, thoughts are flashing, right? Pick a pen and start writing these things. Whatever is coming to your mind now, the things you've not invested in, they are the wealth you've been trashing, putting in the trash or the back burner. You've not prioritized ideas, inventions, innovations that God has been releasing into your heart, but you've been killing. That other side of you has been saying, no time, no money, nobody will help you, no this, no this. That voice, see, you have to rescue, you have to snatch, you have to drown that voice, snatch your future out of it and give it to your spiritual side. I wanted to say you have to kill that voice. Yes, you have to turn it down to zero. Because that voice, if you keep feeding it, it just gets louder. It's the beginning of the year. You are trying to set your goals. Listen, it is loud. You want to plan for a new year. It will list all the things you cannot do. Right? God will tell you this year is filled with opportunities and potential. This other voice will kill everything. Suddenly you now say, okay, you can't vision it. You can't write anything. You say write the vision, make it plain. You don't write the vision. Write your goals. What do you want from the year? Well, whatever. You see that voice. You have to go back inside yourself and start tuning it down and start increasing the voice of possibility. I can do all things through Christ that strengthens me. Greater is He that is in me than he that is in the world. Right? With your help, I can scale a wall. Right? The David versus Goliath. You see, David, everybody was listening to the voice of, oh, Goliath, oh, right? But David said, there's another voice that speaks in me. The one that tells me tonight is your hand. The one that says, I'm bringing you down. The ones that say, I'm not your subject. You know, the one that says, I will be crowned. David started asking, what would they give if I do? David already envisioned victories. I can take you down. When I take you down, what's the reward for bringing this thing down? You see, that's another voice. Right? But the children of Israel, they saw the same giant, they were like, "Ooh, giants, ants." They gave themselves an image. Where did that message come from? The one that called them ants. Who called them ants? Who labeled them ants? Where did that message come from? It's not from God, because God will call you a royal priesthood, a holy nation. God will always call you to your higher. He will always speak to the greatest side of you. That's how you know when God is speaking. God's voice is so sweet, is so loving, is so kind, is so gentle. You know the difference. And if you've not tuned into his voice lately, this is when you raise that volume. Wake up whatever side of you tuned off, wake it up, wake your spiritual side up. You need it for this assignment. Okay? If you're an entrepreneur, your business owner, you need that spiritual side. Without that spiritual side, there's no creativity. That other voice, tune it down. The one that tells you you cannot. The one that tells you your limitations. The one that tells you to doubt. The one that tells you to be lazy. The one that says don't do the work. The one that is looking for free. The one that doesn't show up. The one that doesn't invest in that future. The one that causes, like, that says bad things about your future. Oh, or your country. The one that says bad things about your country. The one that says bad things about your people. The same people that will help you make money. The same people that will buy from you. The one that says bad, right? The ones that says bad things about people. Tune it down. Tune it down. It's a liar. Tune it down. And then raise the volume, right, for hope, for possibilities, right? Raise that volume. You have to tune it. In fact, that's all you need to hear. If you need to go and get AirPods and start listening to messages, or rewind and listen to this one before you sleep at night, you need messages of possibilities this season, this 2024. You need to start hearing people that can tell you can do what God says you can. That is the only thing you need to be reprogramming yourself with. You've programmed enough. You've been programmed enough into nothingness. Start reprogramming yourself into possibilities, into wealth, into abundance harvest. That's the assignment we all have right now. Okay? On that note, I'm going to close it out, unless somebody, I know usually people want to just think. it takes a while to process this, but I hope it sinks in, that you sit with it, that you really chew it and start asking yourself, what does it mean? Because it takes time. If you've been programmed to only listen to this side will sound foreign. In fact, you'll be seeking permission, permission to be bold, permission to be courageous, permission to take risks, permission to have faith, permission to listen to God. Whose permission do you need? That's what usually happens. You'll be looking for validation. Am I doing the right thing? Am I stepping in the right direction? Guys, many people have gone so far away from their own future, from their wealth, from the right prodigal son. He told a story and went, abandoned, right, the promise, and squandered and wasted until he found himself in a place that wasn't his identity. What voice led him to the peak? Like, what voice led him to make the decisions he made to get into that place, right? That's what I'm trying to say. There was a voice that he thought was the right voice, and he was listening to that voice, but that voice was leading him to destruction, his own destruction. You see what I'm saying? He listened to the wrong side of him, the one that has poor judgment, and soon consequences of those decisions showed up. But guess what? He woke up, he awakened, and told himself a new story. He remembered who he was, right? He awakened to say, listen, I don't belong here. This is not what God told me. I know what success looks like. And he retraced himself, his steps, right? Retraced the steps, right? So some of you, what you need to do today is retrace your steps. You found yourself in friendships, relationships, places, employers, wherever, that wasn't the design. They've weakened you. They've offered you scraps. They've belittled you. They've dominated you. They've controlled you. And all they offered you was what they offered the prodigal son, the one who lost his way. Hopefully, if you find yourself there now, you retrace yourself back to your wealth, back to your position, back to your power, back to your place of influence. Pick yourself back up, awaken, remember who you are, and start listening to the voice that will lead you back home to the place of wealth creation. Thank you so much. Okay, there are comments. Oh, Mr. Johnson says, thank you so much. Oh, you're welcome. Kristen West says, thank you. Oh, you're welcome. Felin, you just joined. Thank you for being here. Kenneth says, reflection. Yes, this is a good time to reflect, because at the end of the day, what I have found is when someone like myself brings out solution that will help people achieve success faster, build wealth faster, I realize that, listen, the future you believe in is the one you invest in. Hear me well. The future you believe in is the one you invest in. The house you have a vision for is the one you're going to build. So if people have not even believed in their future, nobody is ready to invest in a future they don't believe in. And trust me, how powerful that future is, the picture in front of you ought to match your level of investment. Right? If you build it with scraps and sticks and bones you picked on social media, how solid will it be? So what I found is that this thing is easy. When people decide they want the best, when they know they deserve the best, they will you must give your best to that future. If you give your least to that future, out it doesn't match. Low quality, you want high quality. What are you saying? If you patch it up with sticks and all these gimmicky stuff, it doesn't hold together. You finish a year, nothing to show. Water, it breaks down. Right? People keep showing up social media, Clubhouse. They want to build their life with Clubhouse. How far will you go? Social media, listen, guys, that's what I'm realizing. But when you see that future clearly, when you see your greatness, I pray to God you give your best, all of you, to that future. That you will not let this other side of you be a barrier, tell you not to invest in that future. The future you invest in is the one you will live inside. You see, today is the future 5 years ago. The investments you made in yourself 5 years ago is what you are experiencing. That's what you're holding now. And what you give today, 5 years from now, it will tell the story. This thing is simple. It's just a matter of time. Whatever you build with, what materials, the quality you use to build your life is the life you will live, is the one you will have. Nobody gives it to you. So when someone like myself says, oh, school for building wealth, school, listen, only those who have awakened, that want to give themselves the best, will pursue the best. And I realize most people, their vision, right, and their action does not match. Yeah? The farmer, right, your hope of harvest, it's a reflection of the seed you sowed. The law of the universe. Sowing and reaping. You reap in proportion. God blesses, God sends the rain to everybody, right? But only the farmer who say, rain means different things to different people. Some people may see rain and complain and hope, oh, I want to go out. Why is it raining outside? Let me get an umbrella. They whine. Trust me, the person who sowed a seed in the ground may rain. Oh, Rain means harvest. It means bountiful harvest. You're like, God, more rain, more rain, more rain. So when opportunities come in a year, those who have sowed, they will say, bring it on, bring it on, bring it on. Those who haven't sold will complain, oh, the government is spending too much money, but you don't know that money is going into specific pockets. For every check the government writes, you don't know how many contracts. Listen, let me know. I don't want to go into business. No, this is not the session for that. Go into my school. You see a lot of the conversations I have with government, right? Resources that they've released to help people grow their businesses domestically and internationally. But trust me, only those who have awakened will participate. Because that information doesn't come to you, you run towards it. So whenever I'm speaking, I'm hosting events, we're bringing in government, I'm talking about international, I'm saying, God, build your business, entrepreneurship, I'm saying books. Most people are like, right? Because they've not awakened. You don't, that information means nothing to people who are still sleeping. Everything I've been sharing for years is been falling. Only the people who are tuned in will understand everything I've been sharing for over 5 years. Only those who understand this is about wealth creation, success for yourself. But most people, they've been blinded by that voice. You see that voice I told you? I'm too busy. I have a job. You don't have time. Well, it's too expensive. Everybody has their own what that voice is. What are your excuses for not investing in your future? For not pursuing what's possible? At least you know how to get a job. But do you know how to build a company? Do you know how to pass generational wealth? Isn't it worth it to go pursuing and learning that thing? Isn't it worth it to just explore? Isn't it worth it, the ideas inside of you, to start a bakery, to start a fashion business, to write a book? Whatever those ideas are, isn't it worth it to even give it a go? Give it time, give it energy, think, nourish it, invest in it. Let's see what it bets for you. And one of the things I say about my school is, let's make it easier, because I'm not saying that journey is easy. So please don't quote me wrong, right? You are waking. Now you have to retrain yourself, because the traditional school, you spend 20 years perfecting how to become an employee. Please be ready to go, right, for the next years, perfecting how to become a wealth builder. It's a different mindset, it's a different belief system, it's a different set of emotions, it's a different tenacity. It's the spiritual side of it that must awaken and do that work. So please don't misunderstand. I'm not saying this is easy. I'm saying wake up and then get to work. A different type of work that would be to build. See, you roll up your sleeves and then you will build the future you want to live in. The future you want your children to have, you will build it. Right? And when you don't build it, it doesn't show up. Simple. Next generation comes, they start all over again. But when previous generation has laid the foundation, the next generation will build on it. And then the next generation builds on it. You see companies 100 years old. 100. People have been doing this work for generations. But if you're the first, get to work. You have a lot of catching up to do. That's what it means. We don't have time to waste. We have to be intentional. We have to be focused. We have to be clear. We cannot be wasting the little time, energy, resources we have on foolishness, on social. Listen, scrolling here, you're just giving your time, whatever you give your time to, you give your life to. Because your life is measured in time. Whatever you give your time to, you give your life to. Because your life is being spent in time. You see, time, the earth is rotating around its own axis 24 hours, and then around the sun a year. Within that time, you use your life force and energy, right? You use your life force. The life force God gave you, you use it to create. Some people will create, some people will destroy, some people will waste it all away. Which side are you going to be on? Intentionality. Hopefully, you decide to listen to that voice that calls you out, that challenges you to greater, that prunes you, right? That prunes all these thoughts, right? You have to fight you have to rescue your hopes, dreams, and aspiration from those voices of doubt. And then you have to give it to the one of faith. And you have to fan your flame every day. I can do all things. I can do all things. When he says you cannot, you'll be like, no, watch me. What? Watch me. Watch me do the impossible. you know, you don't have to, it's not a game. You don't say, watch me. The one that's when you want to show up, the one that says don't show up, you say, watch me do it, right? The one that says don't event, like watch me do it. The one that says let's go for party, say not today. You see, intentional people, they don't waste their time, energy on things that do not move them forward. And there is a balance. I call it pressure pleasure balance. Rest is part of the strategy for wealth creation. So I'm not also telling you to go crazy and wear yourself out. No, there is a balance, but again, those are the things we do in my school. Okay. Hi, Nettie. Glamour by gifts. I see I am busy. Tunde Oyakwe. Oh, sis. Okay. I know people. Super Rose, you're back. I'm beginning to know familiar faces now, familiar names. Greetings, everyone. So, in wrapping up, really it's just again an appeal and a challenge. Maybe let me share one tip. Okay, let me share one tip. I feel maybe this would I want to give you something really, really practical. I don't just want to stir you up and then you go, what's next? Let me tell you one thing that is next. So there is a set of classes, emotional intelligence program I designed for entrepreneurs. It's about self-awareness, self-discipline, self-leadership, self-regulation, on and on. All self. Okay. I'm going to share with you one of the PowerPoints. There are 6. You can apply this to lead yourself and lead other people. But today, I want you to use it as you are stepping out of this session. I want to give you a tool and a resource that will help you lead yourself. And it's something you can use to lead other people if you're a coach. I designed it myself. When it comes to manifestation and activating ourselves. So I've shifted. This can consider this part 2. I was going to wrap up before, but I just realized, you know what? Let me teach. Let me teach. I'm moving more into teaching now. After studying, human, should I say, transformation. Okay. I've come to realize that for us to transform, there are stages of transformation. So let's say you are waking. Stage 1. I'm going to share with you 6 stages now. You can take notes. When you are waking is when you realize consciousness is opened. There are many things happening right now that if you're not conscious about, you don't understand. You may even have read a book, but reading a book is not the same as gaining understanding or gaining revelation. You see, for every type of knowledge, there are layers to knowledge. There's surface, general things people will just, oh, yeah, I know I can make money. Oh, yes, I know I can build wealth. Surface, sand, right? The people who dig for gold and who get diamonds, they don't stay at general thoughts. Oh, we can make money. Oh, yes, I can do this. Yes, I can do that. Everybody knows that is surface. Everybody in the world knows what is generally possible because people have done it. Oh, I can go to space. Oh, I can build a car. Yeah. Surface, fluffy stuff. You see, when you start diving deeper, is when you start praying for understanding how to, okay, direction, clarity, intentionality, purposeful living. That's digging. You can say, oh, I know we can do this. But the question is, do you want to do it for yourself? Do you want to manifest it? Is this a future for you? Okay? And if you start saying yes, now you need to start casting a vision. Now you need to now start going mission. You now have to embark on a mission. You now have to start taking action. Not everybody who talks about wealth takes action in the direction of wealth. This is the game changer, guys. Talking does not build this, unless my own type of talking is transformational. Complaining doesn't do anything. It doesn't move God. What moves God is your faith, your belief that you want it and you're ready to work for it. That's when Jesus will say, all things are possible to them that believe. Most people don't dive deep into that layer. People stay at the surface. So be careful. Don't listen to surface people. They'll just be giving you, that's content. Oh, dude, this 30 seconds thing, scroll here. They just, they're just sending you, they're dividing your energy, but they're not showing you how to build wealth, how to be successful. How they're not giving you step by step, they're not holding your hand, they're not giving you a roadmap, they're not offering you clarity. In fact, you are more confused. Today, start separating yourself from people who give you surface stuff. They are tricking you, they are using it to attract you, yet when you finish, they have no nutritional value to your soul. Those are the content people are busy consuming, surface, fluffy stuff. After you've spent 4 hours. Listen, 4 hours in an intense training program can change your life forever. 4 hours on social media, it does not much. It doesn't even do anything, because when you sleep at night, your mind cannot remember. Can you remember everything you went on social media consuming yesterday? But this type of session you will remember, because I'm going deeper with you. So always seek transformational, deep resources that will show you the way, guide you, give you clarity, empower you, equip you, educate you. Because the 6 steps now, let me break it down. Step 1, activation, realization that something has to change in your life. You have to decide you are going on a journey. If you're not going on a journey, you stay where you are. So you have to activate yourself. The second thing is inspiration. You see, many people can be activated. They can be praying right now for what they want. But inspiration is what helps you believe that you can have what you desire. There are people that in your life that would not help you believe. This is where doubt start killing things. Most people don't even move to step 2. Step 1, activate yourself, right? Desire that you want something that you don't have today. Gain consciousness. You have to awaken. There's the side of you that has to wake up. You can't do this work sleeping. Slumber. You cannot do this work. Oh, one leg in, one leg out. You're not going anywhere. Have you seen somebody going on a journey, but they never left their house? They can live with their imagination, but if there's a gift waiting for them, until maybe metaverse allows us to transport ourselves virtually, listen, you can project yourself into wealth, but to collect it in your hand and manifest, you will, in this physical realm, you will drive your car. You will find your way to the location and specific place where they are distributing wealth. Those are the opportunities. Your ideas will guide you. So step 1, awaken. Step 2, inspiration. You have to keep that flame, because discouragement can choke it out. Remember parable of the sower, right? The word came, birds of the air plucked it away. Thorns choked some, right? So you have to find a way to flame, to keep believing, right? That idea that you just said yes to. When you activate, when you awaken, you say yes. That's when you say yes to God. Okay? Now you have to believe, right? How do you keep your faith alive? Feed yourself hope. Inspiration will hold your attention into it's possible. You don't give up. When people don't inspire themselves, it's easy for you. Everybody will just drag you down back. Because when you're trying to ascend, A plane trying to ascend, listen, you need force to leave the ground everybody's staying in. And then people at the ground will be saying, well, but if you don't leave, if you don't use this force to project yourself, you don't transform to higher dimensions. It's also about next level. Step 1, awaken. Step 2, inspiration. Step 3, which is where my business is, education. Listen, please understand that knowledge unlocks wealth. No matter what I tell you today, no matter the idea, in fact, the idea is supposed to guide you to the knowledge you ought to be pursuing. Any person that discounts knowledge cannot do the work and assignment, because you still have to learn. You have to go through a process to learn. If you are to fish, you will learn. Becoming a student is one of the keys of success. You want to be a doctor, you have to learn. So whatever that idea is, if it's in real estate, start learning. If it's in, you want to open a health center, start learning from those who have done it before. Many people want to skip education. And this is what leads to a lot of failure. If you don't master the subject and the skills, you want to build a business, you don't want to learn how to do it, you will learn on the job, and then you will make your own mistakes, and those mistakes will be more expensive. I'm just calling this out because I help so many people. I'm just telling you the steps you now have to go through if you want to transform and reach your destination. You can start a journey. What guarantees that you get there is what I'm telling you right now, right? That's what I'm sharing. Never underestimate the power of education. Education shows you what to do, how to do it, and it trains you on developing the skills you need to do it. Okay? Physical realm requires us to do work. Okay. After you get educated, here's the deal. You now need to be motivated. Let me give you an example, because inspiration is different from motivation. That's why I said I developed this by myself. After working with so many people around the world, I realized, listen, we have to I use this framework to walk people through, because I've seen this transition so many times, right? So once you know what to do, let's say you want to lose weight, you see, everybody knows what to do to lose weight. We are generally educated. We may not be specifically educated, but we are generally educated. Drink more water, sleep well, exercise more, right? Manage your food. It's an equation. Burn more calories than you are eating every day, you will lose weight. You see, the knowledge is out there in the world. But how many people are motivated to take the action that will get them the results? Motivation is connected to what you will need in order to take action consistently and build momentum that will lead to ultimate transformation and the results you want. You see, that journey is tough. Very tough. So you can get education. That's why in my school, I hold my students accountable. I'll tell you 10 weeks, week 1, what have you done? Week 2, what have you done? Because many people can even know what to do, but still not do it. Procrastination. You can be activated, you can be inspired, you can be educated. Motivation by itself to wake up every day and now put one leg in front of the other in the direction to put to use the information you've collected. It's work. Today, people will keep gathering. They think what they need is more content. They think what they need is more content. They think what they need is more content, but trust me, it's not more content, it's more action. So you need to key into how you'll be motivated. So I include all of these things in my school. There are certain things I do to motivate my students in the direction to take specific action, like the workbooks and everything. Now, once you are motivated and you are now taking action, the 1, 2, 3, the fifth one is challenging yourself. You see, once you start going into to-do lists, calendars, like managing your calendar, time management, you see, these disciplines allows you to put a little bit more pressure on yourself. It compresses you and it helps you expand capacity. You know, motivated people that do not manage time can spend 6 months doing what they ought to have been, what ought to have been done in a day or a week. I'm giving you the difference. Many people can be motivated, but they can stretch themselves, spend a year, and then last minute they will rush, and then they would say, "Oh, I did it." Well, you can do it in 1 year, or you can do it in a week. You can do it in 1 year. So, for example, the 10-week accelerator, it was a 1 year teaching class, but now I've arranged it. You can complete it in 10 weeks. So I could leave you to complete it in a year, but guess what? It's a challenge. Every week, you will give it 3 hours a week. In 10 weeks, you will achieve in 10 weeks what it actually took a year for people to do. Challenging compresses time. It puts more pressure on us, but we are forced to produce results in shorter time than long. That's when I talk about quantum leap. Quantum leap. If you practice the principles I teach and I coach on, if you are ready to subject yourself, you will accelerate to success. What took people 20 years? You wake up. You are being appointed, you are going doing contracts with government. You will achieve more success. I'm giving you the right, but those who do not like pressure cannot quantum leap. Right? You want to lose weight, you don't want to sweat. That's the world we're living in now. You want to eat food, you don't want to cook it. You can do fast food, but success, there's no fast. It doesn't go on sale. God's processes that he uses to manufacture greatness, he doesn't. I wish I could tell you there's a shortcut. God in heaven doesn't operate by our rules. If he says you're a king or a queen, he has your own training program, specially manufactured for you. That's why I say my school is for people who have greatness in them, to bet it. Because those who want minimum, nothingness, my voice, you can't respond to it. So challenging ourselves, this is what military goes through. The most elite performance people in the world, this is what they do. They challenge themselves. Practice, endurance, grit, perseverance, tenacity, fortitude. This is what fortifies and builds greatness. Right? And those who do not want to challenge themselves, they just want the lazy way, easy way out, entertain me, oh, towing, da, 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 da. The pressure of leadership and success, they don't prepare themselves for it. Because to run a business, to be a successful business owner, any form of success will pressure you. Naturally. You undergo more pressure naturally. The journey is, I can prepare you for that. You're a governor, you're a mayor, you're an appointed this. Any form of success will pressure you. So anybody that doesn't lack pressure cannot lead. Cannot lead. Meaning you are not ready for that leadership. You're not. God is ready for you. Are you ready? Challenging ourselves. Those are the people growing muscles in the gym. The muscle comes when you challenge yourself, you do more. You activate yourself, you build momentum, consistency, right? Motivation, you can do it one time and then not do it again. You know, and you can tell yourself, that voice will tell you, that's enough, let's go and sleep. You do a little 5 minutes here, you're like, you satisfy all righteousness. That, you do the barest minimum. That's all you can give life. All you can give your future is barest minimum. That future is waiting for you. That future, it needs endurance. You must show up into the future with endurance, with grit, with perseverance, with tenacity, with muscle. Because that's where capacity for more. Because God knows how to graduate and promote those who are ready to perform at the highest levels. So this is about getting you ready. And then finally, when you go through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you realize that by step 6, you're no longer the person you used to be. Transformation. When you go through everything I just shared, suddenly, suddenly you wake up, you look in the mirror, you see the results. Your thinking has changed, your art posturing has changed, your voice has changed, your energy is more because pressure will force you to grow and mature. So I just decided to share that. The entire package, the entire class is available at toyinumesiwi.academy. So much more packed knowledge for those who want to unleash their potential for wealth creation and achieve more success. So I hope that helps somebody, right? Because many people are looking for shortcuts. What you have to say to God is, I'm ready. That's all God is waiting for. He has appointed your teachers, He has appointed the people that will support you. Every idea that God releases, everything that is needed to manifest that idea is on planet Earth. The people, the investors, the supporters club, they are here. You may not know them right now. God doesn't, when God speaks, see, the whole world, the universe rushes to make God's word. It happens. So if God is speaking to you, this is who you are, this is who you are, you don't prepare. Obama knew. If you go into Obama's history, when he was a boy, what do you want to be? I want to be a president. Listen, but if he had refused to practice here in Chicago, community service, right, go to the Senate, to master his written oratory speech and his writing skills, if he had failed to nurture and invest in himself, people don't invest in you until you've invested in yourself. Do you know that? Imagine if the former president of America had in his spirit that he can be the president of America. He didn't believe it. So he didn't invest in it. And he didn't show up. And he kept dreaming for 30 years. He won't be the person we know today. That's what's happening to many people. You've heard in your spirit, you've heard in your soul who God has made you to be in the spiritual. But in the physical, listen, if you do nothing about it, it will just be sad. It will just be so sad. That's just one example. So it's the people that hear in their hearts and they believe that God can do that work in and through them. It ought to get you excited. It's not for you to make it all happen for yourself. No, God has raised men and women to support you in manifesting that dream. You see, Obama didn't put himself there. All he had to do was prepare himself for there. And at the right time, say yes, put teams together, and the whole world rose up to cast their votes. The world will vote for people who ready themselves and shows competency and capacity. Your job is to build competency, build capacity, so that God can say, arise, arise, shine, for your light has come, and the glory of the Lord is risen upon you. That's when God can say, it's upon whose head that has competency and capacity. That's when God's word would land. David, be crowned. Anoint David, because I've seen what he does in the back. Okay? Whatever you are doing in the back, God is watching you. If it is scrolling, if it is Netflix and chill, with one mouth you'll be saying, I pray to God, I pray to God. With another mouth you say, it cannot be done. God knows that a double-minded person cannot receive anything. That's why you have to close this gap. You see? You have to close the gap. God says go. You say, oh, you've cancelled. You've cancelled it. You cancelled it. You did that. The only thing standing in your way is all of those stuff. That's why Jesus said he will prune. So partner with Jesus to prune all of those things. Let me stop there. Is anybody ready to speak? Does anybody want to? Please, what is the... Oh, sorry. Oh, Mr. Johnson was asking a question. Please, what is the last point? Okay, let me invite you up because I've said a lot. which one, which of the things I shared, uh, did you mean the transformation? Hi, how are you? Happy Saturday.
Yeah, happy Saturday. Yeah, thank you very much. I wanted to know because you were talking about transformation, activation, inspiration, knowledge, motivation, then challenging yourself. Then that was the fifth one. Then what is the sixth?
Okay, let me go run through it. The first one is activation.
Yes,
You have that. Second one, inspiration.
yes, I
Third
have
one,
it.
education. Right? Fourth, motivation.
Yes,
Fifth one, challenging ourselves. Sixth
yes.
one, transformation.
Oh, transformation. Thank you very much.
Transformation. Because that's the
Thank
last mile when you now realize that you've grown, you now have greater capacity, you have more power, more influence, more energy, more clarity, more knowledge, more skills, and that's your ascension.
thank you very much.
Oh no, thank you, thank you. So any other thoughts or anything? I know you've it seems like you've taken notes. Okay,
Yes, I took down notes here.
good.
Yeah.
Okay,
Because
thank
you said you should. You said it that we should take down notes. So I said, okay, let me follow the instruction.
yes. And if you want to take it further, those 6 steps, start asking yourself, how do I activate myself? Because this is about spiritual, right? Self-discovery as well. Know thyself, lead thyself, self-awareness, right? There are other technical things I teach in my school because this goes back to emotional intelligence because there's a roller coaster ride. Life is a roller coaster, emotional roller coaster. Today you're high, today, tomorrow you are this. Oh, like you don't want to be blown by the waves of the sea, by conditioning. So the more you know about yourself, you can regulate yourself. Let's say for today, as example, if you are down, this is the inner work that will help you not to depend on other people. You can pick yourself back up. David encouraged himself in the Lord, right? So when you wake up, you need to do work. You can start asking yourself, motivation, trust me, some people will just play music. The atmosphere changes, right? Some people will play music. Maybe if they want to exercise, they will just put a certain type of sound, like big, beats. All of a sudden, that could be their motivation. It could be tuning into a message from a pastor. It could be a motivational speaker. You now need to be seeking out things that will challenge you, motivate you, inspire you, educate you, transform you, activate you. That's intentional living. And that is different for each person. So those are the things in my school. I know that it's not enough for me to say, go and do this. This is how you do branding. This is how you do marketing. There are days you don't want to show up. People will tell me, Tony, you've been consistent. I'm giving you the secret. The only way you can be consistent and build momentum to build a successful business long term, these are the principles. Because our humanity, right? We have to be disciplined, self-discipline. It's not everything that you don't want to do, you don't do. It's not everything you want to do that you do. It's not everything that you ought to do that you do. These things are complex. I'm saying these words just so people understand. Our self-discipline is when we make ourselves do the things we ought to do when we ought to do it, so we don't procrastinate, because there's a side that continues to self-sabotage. God will say, because what God is looking for is someone that will say yes to him every day. But if God gave you an idea today, you don't take any action today. 6 days later, you didn't take action. 6 years later, you didn't take action. You think he will give you another one? No, he's waiting for you to obey the last voice. So part of self-discipline is kind of an awakened state of intentional being, so that every day you are getting new downloads, you are taking action, you become that person that is implementing, manifesting with speed. That's a journey we ought all to be moving forward to. Make sense? So you can start, you can create a box beneath all the six, and then go into yourself and start asking yourself, what do I need this? What type of education do I need? Given the ideas and dreams God has given me, what do I really need? And trust me, once you start asking that question, God will give you the answer. Make sense? I know it takes time to get to the mic. Yes, okay, good. Mr. Shegun, how are you? Familiar faces or familiar names? Tell me, what are your thoughts, or do you have questions for me? Mr. Shegun, you're up on the stage. You need to on mic. Okay, go ahead. Okay, go. Happy New Year. Good, good, good. Do you have any questions or comments? Okay, good.
Something I just mentioned, let me just say about the topic. But it's good, Sha. It's good for whereby when you believe in God aspect, because even Bible said in the I think I can do Philippians by 16, I think 16. He said I can do all things through Christ who strength.
Mm-hmm. You can go ahead.
It means that nothing the man can do without Jesus or something. You have to put everything in trust and believe in your own self. Because without if you want to do something like a successful businessman, if you want to do something, you have to believe in yourself. Because if you didn't believe in yourself, if someone can say that, okay, I can't, no, this kind of thing, that person does not believe in himself, because you have to believe in yourself. Even though if someone cannot do that thing, you have to tell them that I can do it.
Mm-hmm.
Because Christ is there.
Right. So
Christ is the most.
Yes, yes. So self-motivation, right? Self-belief.
Best option, because nothing is someone you cannot try, because if God can put you, if God can strengthen you, then everything is possible.
Mm-hmm.
I remember one guy, this guy that traveled out of Nigeria. The guy was trying to, no, he applied for one something, but the guy does not know that, like all the developer, that is a website developer, all these things. He don't know it, but he just knows, he just has more idea.
Mm-hmm.
He just apply.
He just, yeah.
Then now, yeah, he have just a little idea for the, what is it called, for developing a website. He applied for, I think, UK or US visa. When he applied for the job, they pick him. They told him that, okay, come to, I think, for US. After he went there, he started asking, he answered the question. Do you know that the guy was trying to, when they give him a question, he will direct that question to his friend that is Nigeria, because he didn't tell them that he cannot do it. He believed himself that this thing I must do it. And the guy started learning from his friend that, can you teach me this thing? He started watching it on Facebook, on YouTube. Many things is very easy now for us to, yes?
Right. So what you're saying is on point. The reason is because to start on the journey, the first thing you need is belief. Many people think what they need. Many people think what they need is these. Those things come. Those things, you become a magnet for all the things you believe you need. Do you understand? Those things that will help you on your journey, they don't always show up until you start believing in it. So when I hear people who start complaining and listing out all the things that they don't have, you can tell that they've missed the very first step. The very first step is when you hear a message, when God gives you an idea. This is the power of faith. You have to activate your own belief system. And believing is a very spiritual force. People don't understand. Right? Believing. Sorry?
If you didn't believe yourself, then how can you believe what God, if God gives you, how can you believe? You have to believe in yourself.
Right. And what you're saying, so I try to teach people so that they understand. So it's not just another statement. So there is self-belief. And if you're a Christian, there's also believing in your creator. There are two. So, sorry, do you want to mute? Okay, do you want to mute yourself? Let me speak to it. Do you want to mute yourself? Let me finish my response and okay, good. So there are two things. Sometimes people will say self-confidence. Okay. Some people call it, oh, this person is confident, this person is confident, right? They will just label it. When you see somebody that is confident, they become a force, they're intentional, they pierce through life intentionally. You can't stop them. Now, underneath confidence, okay, beliefs, they are the pillars that hold confidence up. Let's say confidence is a box or a house. You see a house. What is holding that house up? That it is standing fully, right? It is power. Like you can see when you see a person that is confident, when you see a house that is built, when you see a skyscraper that is standing tall, that hasn't fallen down, what is holding it up are the pillars, the structure, the foundational structures, the structure that holds a person up, that helps them be confident, are their belief system. So when you meet somebody that is not confident, they have shaky beliefs. Doubt is there, right? Doubt. Something is missing. They are not fortified internally. So people who are confident, genuinely confident, is because they believe certain things to be true for themselves, in relation to themselves, in relation to God, in relation to life, in relation to other people. Those who believe that they are leaders will lead. And those who believe they cannot lead, if you call them and say, take on this responsibility, they'll say, because they don't believe that they can figure it out, that they can learn, that somehow they will succeed. So those who believe they will fail, right? You will see it manifest. So, and when I talk about beliefs, it's almost like a system. It's not one belief, it's a series of thoughts. This is why, as an entrepreneur, when I talk about mindset of an entrepreneur, it is built on a belief system. Right? Being an employee is a belief system. So if you bring employee mindset to entrepreneurship, it doesn't hold. You won't have confidence. An employee cannot do this work. Because the belief system that you've adopted makes you dependent on other people to give you direction. You're always waiting. An employee is always waiting, always blaming everybody. Oh, they didn't give me my salary. Oh, it's the boss. Oh, it's the. Listen, an entrepreneur, you look in the mirror and speak life into yourself. There's nobody to blame except you. It's you. Who asked you to go on this journey? You. Who do you report to? You. Do you have to blame? You. Right? So anybody that cannot confront themselves, cannot tell themselves the truth, cannot fortify themselves, cannot fight the battle within and win and conquer, they will shake and they will give up and walk away because there's nobody to turn to. No. Nobody builds your business for you. So the belief system gives us confidence in specific areas to go and dominate. Right? And underneath those, within the belief system is thoughts, right? They're stories. So be careful what stories you're telling and you're concocting and you're crafting about your life, other people's lives, the world, because they are the anchor and the foundation holding your life together. Right? So the stories of who you are, right? All of those things, that's the foundation and the pillar of your life. That's the structure. So when I see you, or when the world sees you, when they hear you, you are projecting your story. You're projecting your belief system. And so when you speak and you express yourself, trust me, what out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. So we it's either we believe you or we don't. And trust me, everybody has an antenna to say, who do I believe? Who do I know? This person, they will just say this person is lying. You know. So what anchors a life is your belief system. And every single day you need to be checking with yourself. What do I believe? And a lot of that beliefs also stirs up emotion. Confidence stirs up a certain type of emotion that makes you stand tall, and it makes you move forward, and it makes you fight for what is yours, and it makes you ask for what you believe in. And lack of confidence will make people doubt. You won't put your price. You won't ask people to pay you. You cannot sell. You cannot market. You cannot brand. You see where this inner work connects with business? People who don't have confidence, you tell them to brand. Oh, what do I say? I don't have anything to say. You've not done the inner work. I tell you, go and build your marketing plan. You're like, will they listen to me? Oh, it weakens. Lack of confidence, it weakens the success level of people. So that's why this inner work is ready is important for business owners, especially. So let me wrap up, guys. Thank you so much. Okay. Reach out, check out toyinumesivi.academy. That's where you work on your dreams, you will do the inner work, learn how to build wealth. We have the school for entrepreneurs there and lots of resources. You also get to connect with other people, other like-minded people. So the link is up above. Yesterday I released a resource on how to 24 ways to make money in 2024. So go check that out and download it as well. Parting words, Mr. Johnson, you're still on stage. What are your parting words? Closing out now.
Thank you very much, and God bless you.
God bless you, sir. Have a nice weekend. Thank you, everyone.